Hello and welcome to the Foundry Roundtable, podcast exclusively covering the Foundry for Star Trek Online. I'm your Tame Foundry author, Dragon1701, and with me is DuncanIdaho and Greendragoon.
Hello, hello.
Greetings.
And we are going to live play some Foundry missions tonight. And in fact, we're all going to do it in our T6 Constitution class ships. So it's a Connie party.
That needs an adorable cartoon for it.
Yes.
Could do like a couple of Connies flying around with like tardigrades riding them.
Actually, I was thinking about just
a tardigrade using T6 Connies as water skis.
So it's a Connie tardy party. You know, I might just like strap like tardigrades to the nacelles of a ship, or just use them instead of the nacelles. I mean, this might have to just be like spun out as a separate enterprise, and me having to contract separate authors or separate artists to actually get these out there.
I keep waiting for you to start a comic book series or something.
I can't draw on model, so that's
You're doing
the
fine
thing.
so far.
Not scene to scene. I don't know. I can simplify my style, but yeah, we'll see.
But you got a cute little Calvin and Hobbes-ish type.
You know what? What I could do better is that if we get tardigrades in the Foundry, I might be able to basically just do a demo record thing or just screenshot type thing. We'll see. Or I just do Foundry missions with tardigrades.
Yes.
Well,
All
that's
the
a given.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so the first mission that we're going to play tonight is called Bob from Accounting, Episode 1 by Little Sarbon.
Yep. Brand new author. He reached out to people on the forums for feedback and helps with getting his mission plays, or his missions out of review. So he's got Bob from Accounting Part 1 and 2 right now. We're going to take a look at Part 1. Part 2 is still in review. So if folks want to help a new author out, here's a couple of missions that could use a little bit of attention.
Definitely. This one's only got 14 plays on it so far. The first one. So, let's get it started.
I guess I'll play Sean. I know this is somewhat unorthodox, but we need you to go to Starfleet Academy and then to Earth Space Dock and meet with, well, just go to Admiral Quinn's office. I really can't say more over the unsecured channel. I have a transporter ready to grab you as soon as you're ready. Just go over to that fountain on the left, outside the main doors of the Academy, and we'll beam you up to your ship. With these inhibitors we've installed after the Dominion War, it's much harder to get a transfer signal these days.
And we are actually already at the fountain.
Someone didn't make it.
Yeah, but I can click the button anyway.
Aha. Get her a space dock.
Go to Earth Space Dock.
Oh, no boss from me. Aha, there we go.
Yeah.
Come on, reboot Jagoro. This is gonna go great.
We always have to bring in Jagoro, and you know, since we're all in TOS Connies, we're going to bring in a Dr. McCoy.
Yeah. And this uniform for this officer is pretty ambiguous for a time period, so it works.
So why did not this author put the door on Earth Space Dock?
I have no idea. We were a little confused about that when Legion Myth played this one.
I think it might be a joke.
It might be a joke. I mean, that's one of the things where it's funny if it's a joke. It's just one of those areas where you want to be real careful about joking about where your mission starts, because it can just kind of fall from being a joke to just being a little frustrating.
I mean, it does work a little bit if it's a joke, because I mean, how many of us have said, "Go to this system" by warping out from this system?
Oh yeah.
Because if we need somewhere to, you know, if we want to start the mission at a system that doesn't exist as a Foundry door.
Yeah.
Like all of us have done that.
And Quinn himself is not a Foundry.
I think the thing is he wants to get us into a private instance of our space dock. Which
Yeah.
has gotten us into
Also
older
that.
space dock.
Older Space Dock. How we miss it.
Good, you made it. We can talk a little more here with the scramblers that I have working on this station. It appears Admiral Quinn has gone missing, and we're not really sure where or how. Head towards the concourse the place in the middle of the station and see if he left any messages on his main console.
Okie dokie.
Oh, this brings back memories.
Good and bad.
For the record, this
I
is
see
actually Earth Space Dock 2.0 after
It
its
is.
first redress. I guess we're going to the...
Middle.
Yeah. Examine the computer.
Oh, there's a random console here.
We must click it. Click it good.
Maybe not the best choice for console because it does have no back. Could just put it next to the wall and that'd be good.
Yeah. or
And it
use-
says, we're supposed to come over here and talk to Bob from accounting.
Bob! Oh, you have a default costume. Oh no.
Who wants to
Alright.
do Bob?
I will do Bob.
You can do Bob.
Let's see. What voice shall we do for Bob? I know you're all eagerly anticipating something horrendous.
Well, you know, some sort of paper pusher, you know, desk jockey.
Okay. Hey, Captain. I've heard great things about you. I'm a big fan. I love what you did with the whole Pajem situation. You sure showed that Undine who's boss. Man, must have been lots of pew-pew in that fight. Anyway, we've got a bit of a problem. Admiral Quinn was scheduled for a meeting with me to go over logistical paperwork, and he never showed up. In fact, no one knows where he is. Our transporter logs do not have a record on an unauthorized transport into Martian space.
They
If
do
you're
have a
going to
record.
They do have a record.
Yes.
If you're if you're going to help, you should probably go there. I'll talk to you again, but getting back to him is really important, and find out why he went to Mars. I mean, ever since they terraformed that planet, it's like the place to go. But he was never a tourist. Oh, no, en contraire. He spends half the year in Ryza.
On a quote business trip with his
On a
assistant.
quote business trip to Ryza, and he's replaced himself with a hologram in his office to just facilitate all the miscellaneous admirals who are coming in through for easy promotions. That's why we went from lieutenant to admiral so quickly. We were just dealing with Quinn, and no one has had the heart to tell us, you're not really an admiral, but we're just going along with it anyway. And all on your own. For some reason, all our communications with the planet have been really spotty lately. We suspected something was wrong, but it's Tuesday, and yeah, no one really does anything on a Tuesday, so it's up to you to find out.
That's actually 100% true for me.
Yeah.
Hey, Fleet Admiral, I know you're really busy right now, but while you're down there, could you pick up a few tubes of that foot cream? I'm having that problem with my feet again.
Stop using this frequency! We're going to Mars, so once you're on your ship, we'll have the navigator head out, if that's alright with you. Captain, I'm not dead somehow. I still
Yes,
haven't
I am,
gone
sir.
to sickbay either. So, I'm just kind of bleeding here in the corner from that battle we had 2 weeks ago.
Okay, for all you know, that could be my doctor.
Oh, yeah. Just like, I'm a doctor. I know how to treat myself. I'll get it right eventually.
I
Should heal thyself.
I saw Hollow Spock on that one, so
I've got my hierarchy security officer.
I know it goes a little weird with people on the team.
well, we're gonna get Teaming Bug anyway.
Yeah. Although, the SRS fleet guy, Matt Johnson from DA, does maintain that if you, the person who creates the party, if they start the mission first and go into through that first map first, and everyone joins them after, the teaming bug doesn't happen.
Yeah, but you can't do that on ground
Um.
if it starts on ground, like this one did.
Well, no, you can't you? Where the person who starts the mission starts the mission, and then everyone else, once they're in, since we split up here. So we'll just give that a try on the next one, just to double check that one, because they've been doing a lot of testing, and they say it works. So I think we should give that one another try. Anyway, hey Captain, it's me again, Bob. Dang it, Horion made it overdrawn the memory bank quote, and now I'm just doing that particular voice. Hey Captain, it's me again, Bob. Anyway, the satellites may have information as to where exactly the Admiral went. Yeah, there we go, I'm back.
Wasn't overdrawn the memory bank an overcomplicated ripoff of Casablanca?
It had Casablanca in there as a reference, but as Casablanca.
It was like a holographic version of it or something, or
simulated
in the
computer version. Yeah. I mean, it's PBS sci-fi, so what do you expect?
that in of itself is a contradiction. I got an ops button that came up that says, it appears the Gorn have actually entered Martian space. Bob was right. Something's not right here.
Wonder if that maybe is not supposed to pop up at that point.
That might be.
Yeah, I think he hasn't figured out triggers yet, and also he said he was having trouble typing names in, like to change the default names, but I don't know what exactly was going on there. So I was trying to help him troubleshoot, but yeah, it's new author, so just still getting to grips with the interface and how to do things, and maybe hasn't been thoroughly clearing the typing bug that we've been having. I'm not sure. So I'm at Beacon 2.
Yeah, I'm approaching it now. I've scanned one.
There.
And I got Bob from accounting again.
Fleet Admiral, we're picking up enemy ships heading your direction. You might want to take some precautions. Just saying. Continue. I got an ops button. Yep, here's the Gorn one.
Warning, ship is under attack.
So how have you guys built your T6 Connies?
I've done dual beam banks up front for them, a gravimetric photon torpedo, omni beams in the back with a cutting beam too. It is an exotic damage torpedo build.
Interesting.
It's also been doing quite well.
I tried to make like the dual beam banks up front, and then TOS torpedoes. Upgraded, naturally.
Yay!
Because I didn't know they were going to put them out in the fleet store for the fleet holding.
A little bit under level for this, but I'm surviving. Luckily, that wasn't anything too challenging.
No, there isn't a whole lot of combat in this one, I think.
Probably just as well. Alright, I killed my enemies. I'm going to head towards the third beacon.
Yeah, I think there's a
There's
pop-up
another
dialogue.
group
there
of
it is.
enemies over here.
Yeah. Fleet Admiral, there are more raiders near the last beacon. Once they're dispatched, you can scan the last beacon, and then we can beam you down. Continue.
Bloodleaf is impressed that he has not only Mars there, but also Phobos and Deimos.
I think this is actually a stock map. They gave us stock
Yeah, I
maps
think
of
so.
all the
Are
different...
those actually in the stock map? I wasn't sure
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah,
So we have stock
we've
maps
got-
of all the different planets around.
Well, I knew that. I didn't know if it had Phobos and Deimos.
We don't have those as assets, so this has to be a stock map. Vaporize my group.
I've used Neptune, but I've never used Mars.
Luckily, the
Have you?
T6
I've
Connie
used
is actually a
Saturn.
pretty powerful ship.
It is. It's a very good ship.
Alright, scanning my satellite. Hello, Bob.
Captain, I was able to put the data from the 3 satellites through a corruptive algorithm and then hypercross the information with a secondary state of matter dialysis, and it allowed me to break through the cloak thingamajig, and it gave me a location of where the fleet admiral beamed down to. I can get you to the surface, but I suspect you may have to search further for him.
All right.
I like how he starts off with completely implausible technobabble and then just goes right into thingamajig.
Yeah, that was a nice touch.
That's a good one.
Continue. Well, certainly ready to beam me down, Captain. Just say the word. Energize.
Go for it.
Full team. Go.
I bet you we appear together, though.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's been how the teaming bugs work for Legion of Myth. It just alternates. Yeah, so the one thing I do want to add about Bob, I don't think I think the author created a custom NPC, but then did nothing to that one. And for my obsession with putting a lot of detail into NPCs, that one just sort of like, change the uniform, like, to anything else. Like, just don't use default.
I think he's wearing
default
the Herald boots.
Yeah, and that's default. I mean, that's if you create a human male NPC, that's basically what you get. I think he may have changed the head type around, but he did nothing to the uniform. So I recognize that one is the one I always change. I must purge it. Must change the options. Okay, Captain. We're detecting Gorn soldiers on the surface. Find out where the fleet admiral went.
Yes, if only to shut you up.
We broke Duncan again.
This way.
There's an asset that's been added to the map. Yay.
Well, that's what you want to see from new authors. You start adding their own assets and...
Yeah.
Although it is directly covering up the path.
Yeah.
Maybe that's by design.
But, I mean, for Galvatron, like, Galvatron ICU mission where he not only covers up the path, but all possible paths, like, inadvertently.
You don't want to do that.
Yeah. that one's just like, it just challenges you. This is just like, oh, just go around. The other one is just like, he taxes me. In a fun way. Fleet Admiral.
Those crates appear to be of Romulan design, at least from the signature they're putting off. They seem to be stamped with the initials BFA Corporation.
Interesting.
Fleet Admiral, the BFA Corporation seems to show up a lot in our missions lately. Weren't they the ones that made us that special phasure we found on the dead Klingon last year? Just saying, we should watch these guys. Continue. I've got another ops button.
Bloodleaf is asking, is there a working M-class planet that looks like an ocean planet? What you can do is basically use the empty ground map and stick a whole bunch of water volumes on it.
I mean, I think he's asking about space maps. Or
there's a couple. There's a couple that are
assets, yeah.
significantly ocean. There's not no one that's completely ocean that.
What you can. Yeah, you could always do is cheat and do one of the gas giants, or the smaller ones that basically just has total atmospheric cover.
That looks blue.
That looks relatively blue. Yeah, I mean that might be the easiest way to do it. Which ones are working, I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, you can use that too.
Yeah. My Herald projector might be kind of powerful right now because I did start upgrading things to Mark 15.
I don't know. I've got nothing special. I seem to be pounding through them pretty quickly.
Well, yeah, I think he's just like deploying ensign mobs.
So they're just Gorn. wouldn't necessarily expect anything terribly difficult out of Gorn.
Yeah. Hello, you. You haven't been successfully triggered yet.
I think we may have
He's a
gone a
contact.
slightly wrong route.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, because he's put a lot of guys here and then hasn't, like, set up the triggers right, because I don't even know if he's actually been able to bring up the tab at the bottom of the menu for the map. So I don't know if he's changed any of the state properties for these guys, like when they trigger in and trigger out, and that's kind of essential for what he's doing on this map here, where we're sort of going through a bunch of different enemies. Some are on the map already, some aren't, and some are relevant for plot points, and some we're just pushing through. So definitely need to pick that one up, because otherwise it really does limit how much you can do as an author if you don't know how to use triggers. Those are rather essential. So I think you can get away with it for like a first mission, but if you start working from there, it's something that it's a very useful skill to pick up. Just when to spawn things in, when to spawn things out. We got an ops button.
We do.
Captain, apparently the scrubbers are working great. Wonders on the Martian surface. Continue. Do you think Bob might do you think the object Bob asked for might be here? He hasn't asked us for an object yet.
I don't remember him asking us for an object.
Yeah, that's probably a later plot point, and he hasn't set the trigger right. So, yeah, I mean, he definitely does need to go through and make sure that things are coming in correctly.
Yes.
And if he doesn't see that bar, and I'll provide him a link to this playthrough, but if he, like, and it's just easier for me to say right now, once you're in the map, you look at your map. On the bottom of the screen, if you do not, like, click on an object, if you don't see an object, like, properties window come up at the very bottom of the screen, click the margin, the bottom margin, and pull up. You want to get that in there, because otherwise you're not going to be able to do a whole lot with Foundry. Okie dokie.
Please don't
Peaceful
shoot!
scientist.
I'm just a scientist, and a pretty good one too. I could tell you stories of some of the greatest scientific achievements in all of the galaxy. Oh, apparently you're interested in more than my knowledge of science. Go ahead, access my computer. That will reveal the hidden cave entrance. And yes, your Admiral Quinn is down there. And if you don't mind, I'm going to be vamoosing away now. No phasers, no rifles, please. I break easily.
Catch you later.
Catch you later.
The giant, super whiny Yorn.
That's good. Also, you might want to rotate, because I think all the objects are pointed in one direction, and it might not be intended. Rocks! Rocks. Scan the rocks. I hit the rocks.
It's me, Admiral. Engineer. Just engineer. Don't ask. We got lots of problems with the shield capacitors. The E's not connecting with the workflow regulators. We might have to ditch the whole caboodle. So my advice is don't upset anyone off while you're down there, especially if they have a ship. We're gonna be here a while.
Just fix the ship. What did you guys do up there?
Who's Candy?
Do I want to know? No.
Hey, boss, are we still on for our date in the holodeck? I turned up the romantics, and let's just say it's going to be an adventure. Kind of like the one you're on right now. I guess I should call you at another time. Sorry, bye.
Yeah, we're still on.
Chikoro's looking at me.
Bow chicka bow wow.
Enter the
This is like
cave. I've seen a couple of missions, like comedy missions, do that, like just like randomly interrupt you with someone, like a female character who's just basically like, "Oh, are we still on for a date?" I don't know what it is with Foundry comedy missions, and that comes up.
Just trying the random things. I guess.
Subverting
Yeah.
expectations, like that's the sort of thing totally doesn't happen in cryptic missions. So therefore, that's what it's sort of like that, like obvious thing of like, how can I just like make this unreal? So
Well, I mean, go more broad with it. You know, make that call from a Horda? Are we still on for our date?
Nope. No gender problems to run in with that one.
And we're separate.
Yep.
I do really appreciate that our spawn point wasn't on one end of this map, and we had to walk through the entire other end of the map. Because I see a lot of like new authors do that, where they feel like they have to use the entire map, irrespective of whether or not it actually feels and plays well. So kudos for that little call there, because that does make a mission much easier to play than just trying to just like, oh, I have a space, I will use all the space. Does the space play well? Meh.
A lot of these default maps have a lot of long hallways.
Yeah.
Welcome to Launch Stowe.
We don't talk about Launch Stowe.
Oh, it's fine to talk about Launch Stowe.
It's
We don't
our
talk about
Raven
Season
home.
4.
We love to talk about launch stuff.
Yeah, Launch Stowe's
'Cause, I
fine. We
mean,
don't
you
talk
know-
about Season 4.
Yes,
Okay, we don't talk about Season 4. I found Quinn.
Although, funnily enough, I think we have actually had now downtime that was longer than Season 4.
True. I don't think it was as devastating in the back end as Season 4 was.
No.
Great. I just got one-shotted by a Gorn Rock. I might be a little underleveled. That's fine.
Don't let Heathen
It's
Dog
fine.
see
One of
this
my
one.
You were
One
not
of the,
prepared to rock.
Heathen Dog played this one on Elite.
we're definitely not playing an elite, but I'm gonna assume you guys are level 60 or 65.
65.
65.
I'm level 50.
Oh, and since it's the teaming bug, it could still be scaling it to us.
These guys are 15 levels above me.
Can you
Don't worry about it. I'm holding my own.
can you boost to my level? Since I'm the team leader, I think you should be able to.
Yeah, you should be able to do that. Unless, yeah. So you should be able to do that. It's
I'm not 100% sure it's working, but it's not a big deal. I'm even 15 levels below. I'm getting through.
It's
okay.
ground
Except my
season.
entire team is dead. Let me work on that.
I will continue to stand here, and also, yeah, another one of those civilian consoles pointed in one direction, but the back end, which is transparent, is exposed. We do have some consoles that do have that 360 or work in a 360 environment, so just recommendation of the author, check out the civilian consoles, because yeah, that kind of breaks it when you sort of walk around. It's like, oh, that thing doesn't partially exist. Oh, I'm in a game. My immersion.
All right, talk to Admiral Quinn 2410.
Okay. Running.
Who wants to
Default
do Quinn?
mode. Oh, I've got to do Admiral Quinn.
Go for it.
It's a good thing you came. The food they've been bringing me is horrible. Sorry. Right now, I'd be willing to eat one of your rations you take with you on your away missions. You do bring those on away missions still, don't you? Oh, never mind. They brought an alien artifact with them. Bob seems to think it might be important, so you should get it. I believe the code to enter the other room is on the console over there.
Wait, you talked to Bob? How have you talked to Bob? Is he one of your captors?
Bob is everywhere.
Bob is the ultimate villain that's responsible for everything. You thought it was the Iconians, but no, it's Bob.
From accounting.
I'm starting to think that Bob might be a Mary Sue.
Kind of is, because he does have that.
We
Like-
don't talk about Mary Sue's here. I have
All right.
one rule on the show that I'm only telling you now after almost 200 episodes.
Okay.
Is that I don't accept Mary Sue as a trope.
Only when it's funny.
Yeah, only when it's funny.
Yeah, well, There's all
Because
that.
oh god, yeah. Because otherwise, it's like, to get serious for a moment, it is a very abused term. Basically, strong
Yeah.
female character, Mary Sue. No, it's not what it's for at all.
No,
I should
you're
point
right.
out
It
that
is. It is overly
there
abused.
is a male version of that's been around since forever. Also,
It's up there.
so
It's
not-
up there with slap in the
people don't
face
remember.
and cannon breaking.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Just
push your
imagine,
buttons.
like, okay, so just basically imagine me basically expelling a lot of water and then huddling up in a small little form like a tardigrade. All right,
But
so
yeah,
I hit the
it's
button.
an excuse that everybody uses, or
Yeah.
mostly just things they don't like.
Yeah, basically. So anyway, oh right, you have the code and the other door is unlocked. Now find out what's going on with that artifact. Okie dokie.
What's this artifact?
I have no idea. It's just an artifact the bad guys brought with them. So they've captured Admiral Quinn for reasons, and they've got an artifact for reasons. Although if they didn't capture Admiral Quinn, we wouldn't have any reason to come here, and they could have done whatever they wanted with the artifact.
I'm not going to like poke too much at this since it is a comedy.
Well, that's the thing, is that I would
see what you do is you this is what they call hanging a lampshade on it. Is you
Yeah.
acknowledge the ridiculous and stupidness of their plan in the story.
Yes, exactly. It's just, you basically, like, I would have a confrontation with the villains where you basically explain that and they go, oh, and then combat starts right there.
Yeah. Like, oh,
SG1 is like the
crap.
gift that keeps
why
on
did we
giving.
do that?
Oh, where is this thing?
Yeah, I found the grate.
Oh, it's over in the corner. Okay. Sorry, I ran right past it.
I was right, Fleet Admiral. It's another crate, marked with the BFA Corporation on its surface. Although inside, there's nothing but Gorn food. That would explain why Admiral Quinn was so upset about the food. Do you ever taste that stuff?
A dialogue option there would be good. We keep having continue, but yeah, something written in there would be probably pretty good. Because that sort of establishes sort of a back and forth with the captain and the bridge officer, and you can get more funny, more comedy out of that, because you can start playing off relationships, like smacking your officers down and like that.
One of them can start saying,
Okay, one thing I do want to stop us real quick for, Icon 99, yeah, we're just kind of going through right now on sort of paying attention to the mission, paying attention to the chat. So sorry we didn't get to your question beforehand. To address that right now, no, we haven't gotten a direct reply back from the devs, although we're sure that they've seen it because it's been posted around in multiple forums. We generally don't get a direct reply on issues like that. Because, yeah, it's just not the nature of forum interactions to really have a lot of that back and forth unless a dev feels really sort of above and beyond. And we do sort of already know a lot of the background behind that. It's providing concerns for the developers for the consideration. So it's really not about getting acknowledgement. It's about just letting them know where we are so they can take that from there. They have reached out to us recently about bugs, basically saying, what's going on right at the Foundry right now, what needs fixing, and we did provide them with a lot of information. So there is communication going back and forth. It's just that with the Age of Discovery announcement and STLV, we haven't gotten a lot of basically interactions on the site or anything else like that.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
right now we don't know if the devs are going to make the Foundry a priority now, what's the state of any bug fixes.
they
in
won't
particular.
tell us until they tell us, basically.
Yeah, basically. I mean, that thread will know when we know, pretty much. Although for concerns on 10 forward, I mean, that's certainly a place to bring it up if you feel you want to sort of chime in, ask Kale questions, and sort of get that immediate response back. Asking on 10 forward is definitely going to be a good thing. We do that all the time. But the more people who are asking about the Foundry, the more apparent it is a community concern. It's not just a small group just being very vocal about it. So as many people as chiming in as possible, always great. So definitely a place to go. Forums are one place, but 10 Forward Weekly live stream asking developers directly, that's another way of drawing attention to issues. So There we go.
mean,
Serious business.
I'd say don't be rude to the developers, but yeah, it's definitely okay to let them know, hey, this is a concern, a problem for us.
Yeah, especially about like if one bug in particular is bothering you. I mean, we provided them with some information about bugs and drawing their attention to forum posts and stuff like that. But I mean, it's always something that, you know, if it's been a while, no action taken, always sort of, you know, poke it a little bit just to make sure that it's still on a priorities list for the QA department.
All right, so I am in the room with the alien artifact, and I am at the console, ready to use the code.
I use the code.
Use the code.
Code is given.
I don't know who you are, but you have made a grave error today. That artifact is far more important than you can possibly know, and it will only bring you trouble. I warn you, do not take it. I'll take it.
I beg to disagree.
I want really repartee with that officer. Come on. Where is he? Boss fight.
I made a far greater error when I set up that date with Candy.
You need like a sequence there where you say, "Don't touch it." I'm touching it. Seriously, I'm touching it.
Don't touch it.
And you can't stop me.
Yeah. So yeah, and just to sort of comment on the mission right here. Right now, it's being played very straight. Like, it's going through a very standard plot without a whole lot of twists on it. I like that Gorn on the side was a pretty good one. Kind of almost you imagine him doing a Leslie Nielsen type thing where he just steps in the door, says, "Don't take it," and then just walks away. But you can also like establish that using out of text text in brackets, like I always do, to basically set stage directions too. So you can use that to sort of provide more action and dialogue, rather than just relying on the literal visual presentation and literal spoken dialogue. So just another tip for authors, if they want to provide more to a scene, you can always just write it out and just separate it off in some format, with some kind of formatting.
What you could do is it starts at the console. He says, "Don't you dare take that thing." You walk over, interact with the console. It is like, "Don't you pick up that thing." And then you walk towards the door. He says, "Don't you walk away with that thing."
And then you walk away, and then that's the end of it. There's no payoff, and then that's the punchline. I like that. So anyway,
or someone chimes in and says, "Why didn't you stop us?" Well, what do you think I was trying to do?
So yeah, for Bob, great job. Yeah, great job getting the artifact. I will send a shuttle to take care of it. Take it from you at a more convenient time. As always, you are a marvelous asset to the Federation. Continue.
Hey, honey buns, this is Margot. I'm here on Rise alone. I really miss you. How about you ditch that crew of yours and come on down and see me? Or put them on some kind of mission where they have to scan some bird on some random planet while you're on the other official business. I expect to see you in a few days. Don't keep me waiting, lover boy.
What I want here is an option just saying, "I believe you have the wrong comm frequency," and then that's it.
or something from the ship, who chimes in and says, "Sir, the communications officer is tired of being your social coordinator."
I will have you know I am the lover girl.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where you're just writing a comedy mission. You can really kind of extrapolate a little bit more. I think he's done a good job setting up like this starting point. But yeah, more elaboration would really help sell the comedy aspect and separate it from a straight mission that then has elements of just is sort of like, I don't call it absurdist humor, like it's a bad thing, but just things are completely out of the ordinary and juxtaposed against what you're doing. So, is that it?
No.
Yep, that's it.
That's it. Not a lengthy mission.
Nope, and there's part 2.
But we wanted to try something else as well tonight. So, Duncan, what's the other mission you had for us?
Let's see. It was Galaxy Trek by B. Berg. I don't know if it's B.B. Erg or B. Berg, but BBERG. So another first-time author. Right now, there's actually been, just to let people know, there's been quite a few missions that have been posted to the forums recently. So if you want to help some authors out who are looking to get a little bit more attention for the missions, both the STO forums in the official mission section, great place to look if you're looking for authors who are really sort of care about what they're making and are dedicated to trying to get it out there and trying to get sort of improve what they're doing just by reaching out to people and saying, hey, this is what I've made. And also Stowe Reddit, because you'll occasionally see first-time authors posting it there too.
That's one thing to consider when you're picking your mission door, is that you will be returned to that specific door when you exit the mission.
So we're back to Starfleet Academy.
I'm in the bushes.
Transwarp beaming.
See, Galaxy Trek, yeah, BB, there we go, bottom.
Galaxy
So
Trek.
got the prompt open?
Hang on.
And while you're doing that, I'll just sort of give a synopsis on the last one. But again, yeah, I like Bob from Accounting, really good. It just sort of first start on like how to structure a mission, how to pace it. I think there's a reasonably good balance of dialogue and combat. Could definitely go with more elaboration, but it's a very functional first mission, and it does have that like that twist of humor, which does very much separate it out. And the dialogue was pretty competently written too, so it holds up there. It holds up. Most places, it's the sort of the technical details of how you place assets, how you sort of build out more dialogue, and yeah, that's kind of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, make sure you're rotating console so the invisible back end isn't sort of facing out, and yeah, I mean that's pretty good.
All right, our next mission starts at Starbase 144.
Fleet Admiral, please report to Starbase 1114. I want to send us in the wrong direction, Greendragoon. 114 for a briefing. Starfleet Press Corps has a mission for you. Interesting. You'll be conducting a routine planetary survey in conjunction with civilian personnel from GBS. You'll be given full details when you arrive. Yeah, a routine planetary survey, that never goes wrong for us.
Nope.
What can I say? We are not meant to have normal.
I'm tempted to write a comedy mission where you're on a normal mission. The plot of the mission is that it goes right, but it causes your captain to have a mental breakdown.
I just can't handle a normal mission.
And then you're just like, I gotta fire the weapon. Sir, that's a civilian transport. There gotta be Undine changelings or shapeshifters or, oh god. And you're just at the end of the mission, you just get heavily medicated. It's like, we'll be sure to send you on nothing but killing sprees in the future. We understand where you're coming from, Captain.
All right, you're going to have to remind me, where the heck is Starbase?
Where is Starbase?
Celis system.
Celis. Oh, Celeste system? Okay.
It is interesting that we're apparently getting a mission from the Starfleet Press Corps.
Why, everybody else orders us around.
This is true.
Yeah, Bob from Accounting just sent us to go rescue.
Yeah.
He sent us to rescue Admiral Quinn.
Who is this Bob, and how did the accounting department get so powerful?
Well, because there's no actually accounting that they have to do anymore. So basically, it's like, a legit Section 31.
It's accountability. We make sure that everyone is using their starships appropriately. Everyone answers to us. Bob better have a throne in future installments. Just saying. My forces are ready to take over the Federation. I am Bob.
I'm just going to say that the Exeter skin is really, really pretty.
All right, so begin Galaxy Trek.
Hang on. Almost there.
Okay, so Drogon start this one up. And then me and Dragoon will wait.
Okay. Loading. Oh, a little tidbit that came out in an interview from a gaming site this week that wasn't in the STLV panel is that they will be building the all the different ships from the Battle of Binary Stars.
Yeah, because that's actually going to be in there. Because I heard they mentioned that, I think, on one of the panels. But I don't think that was in the PR blog.
I mean, I figured they were going to do this anyway, and they may not, maybe not all at once, but I figured they were going to do it anyway. But it's, it's nice to hear that they're working on that.
Yeah, and it might be why we haven't had a Seashore ship in a while, is they're saving.
I get the impression that the go-ahead on this whole Discovery thing was actually a relatively recent thing.
It pretty much was from what we heard about their meetings. Like, these weren't the original meetings they had. These were relatively recent ones after Season 1 wrapped up. Just exactly when, we don't know, but it's within the last year, I think.
So, Drogon has already gone in. We should probably go in after him.
Yes.
Yep.
You can go in now.
So we'll see if this works.
So many pretty gunnies.
Are you using the Type B skin? Oh yeah, no, it's the TOS one.
Like that, yeah.
Yeah. I thought
I think it's like Type 0.
Yeah. I was thinking like Type 8B from underneath, and it's like, no, you got the deflector dish.
Yeah. No, it's all of the refit parts, but with the TOS skin. So
yeah.
It looks a bit Phase 2-ish. As close as you can really get.
Beam down.
We're beaming down.
Beam down. Let's see.
Got to get us some Jagoro.
Oh wait, no.
or Quark.
I'm bringing the Quark hologram. Holo Quark is TOS themed, right?
Not even a little.
Well, didn't he go to 1950s Roswell? It's like
Yeah, he did,
TOS.
but
That's not TOS.
he didn't. He wasn't really a part. He wasn't
by
a part
an
of the Galaxy
average, he's
Tribulations.
sort of TOS.
He didn't even go along on Trouble with Tribulations.
Yeah.
Trouble and Tribulation, or whatever that
Trial
episode
and
is.
Tribulations.
Trials and Tribulations.
Discovery needs a triple episode. Just saying.
You
Is it
guys
like
are
a
not
hole in
here.
the head?
Nope, we got split.
Sorry, I think. Does this disprove the whole team leader entering first thing?
I got to check it out again, but we've never had this thing work, so it might be something that's very particular with SRS and their connection setup versus ours. Like, it might just take a network engineer to really look at what's going on and explain what's going on. But yeah, I'll take another look at the SRS, what they've been reporting, and make sure that we're doing it right.
So I'd like to point out that the Orville crew is here.
Uh-oh. Is this a EULA thing?
Depends, I guess.
I'm just
Names
saying
are
how
names are changed,
close.
so
Okay, names are changed, likenesses...
Seth McGuffin.
I mean, it given our character creator, it is actually hard to make something look like someone. But
Yeah.
I think these are knockoffs.
Yeah, these are knockoffs. It's just like it's that you're starting to hit a gray area. But anyway, we'll move on.
anyway, we'll move on.
Fleet Admiral, you've been chosen for singular honor. Not only do you get to meet the cast of your favorite Holovid series, Space Trek, in person, they'll be joining you for a mission. My duties don't need
Space
much
Trek.
time.
Never heard of it.
It's very entertaining, even if the producers take some liberties.
I see.
Let me introduce you to Glick, the representative from GBS. He's going to be accompanying you and your crew. Continue.
Why is it whenever they say this is a singular honor, they mean it's an undesirable thing? And you're the only one who has to suffer through it.
They got to give you something, and honor is free.
All right,
All right.
talking to the GBS representative. Why, hello there, Captain. I can see you're the captain, can't I?
Well,
I've heard so much about you. War hero, accomplished diplomat, daring explorer, time traveler.
true. Well, true.
True, all true.
Let me introduce you to our cast.
Continue. No.
No.
Okay,
Okay,
just
well,
a little Duncan
Oh.
thing. I never like it when the mission objective is meet every single member of the crew as a separate dialogue. You can just keep it going as
Cryptic
one
does
chain.
it all the time.
I know, and I like it. Always bothers me. It's just like you can structure it as one conversation, and this gives you a little bit too much liberty to sort of drag that intro on. So I kind of did this in SSF, or even at my first mission. I made 2 conversations within the group part of dialogue, optional, my mandatory dialogue. The rest were optional. So it's like you had all the prompts in the room, but at the same time, you only need to go through 2. So it's just like a thing where for me it feels like the pace just goes boom, hits a wall, and Cryptic does do this.
Well,
It
just
did
think
it
of all
a
the
lot in Victory's
opportunities for
Life.
funny voices. All right, let's break this down. We'll work on it from left to right, starting with Seth MacGuffin here.
Okay.
You want me to do it, or?
I was just seeing if I could do a Stewie.
Well, I have moral objections, so I don't want to do any of this.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Seth MacGuffin. I play Captain Ed Spencer. I'm also the series creator, executive producer, and chief writer.
Maybe pushing it a little bit there.
Sorry, how would you want me to do it?
Pushing it a lot.
A man of many talents. Next one.
This is Andriana. And I'm not even
I
going to
am
attempt the last
Adriana
name.
Barcy, and I play Commander Kelly Greystoke. I was on Agents of Section 31 for a while. They tried to spin my character up to a new show, but that didn't take off.
This is hitting a little bit too close to the Orville.
Yeah.
This is just taken completely from the real world rather than, I don't know, doing that as like a fun aside one time, is fine.
But the
this
comedy
is
needs
really-
to be comedy isn't just reference. You also have to make commentary, because there has to be some type of constructed joke there rather than just putting something out of place. This is just putting something out of place, and it's like we get the reference, but it's just like a picture of a baby tardigrade crying.
Pity.
I can need that as a
enjoyed
meme board. Oh wait, I'm on the next.
Let's just roll through these here real quick.
All right, Jay-Z.
Hello, I'm Jay-Z, and I play Jamie LeVar. They promoted my character from helmsman to chief engineer this season.
Wait, is that a Geordie joke?
It is.
I didn't watch Orville.
At least that's a Star Trek joke.
Okay, there we go. We actually have some.
You remember how
commentary.
Geordie was on the bridge in like the
Yeah,
first episode.
and this is Jamie LeVar. Although, actually,
I've never watched the Orville, so I can't say if
I
there's any.
saw the
Orville
first
jokes.
episode.
okay,
Anyway,
dialogue.
Sounds impressive. Does that include a pay raise?
Sadly, no, just means my dialogue gets more complicated. Okay.
See, that would be funny if it were in the midst of all this other stuff.
Talk to Parsley Sage.
I am Parsley Sage, and I play Laurentia Elementary Kitten. She is the security officer on the ship.
Oh God.
Gonna hurt yourself doing that one.
Hope I'm not being rude, but I don't think I've ever met someone of your particular species before.
That's okay, I get it a lot. I am Zillion. Our planet has high gravity, so Zillions are strong for their size. I am doing a lot of stunts on the show because the producers haven't found anyone who could double for me. I'll get you next time, Gadget. I'll get you next time, Gadget. Next time.
Yes. Yes.
It's like the one voice I can do really well.
Well done.
We need to bring that into dialogue more.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty potentially dangerous. Yeah, I wish the Orville references weren't quite so overt.
If he had invented his own show, you know,
Or if it was on the side. I mean, that's
because that would be funny. You know, if he made up a completely own show that is a ripoff of Star Trek within the Star Trek universe.
Or yeah,
that would be kind of hilarious.
What you could do is also just make a horrendous parody of the player. I mean, you create a character, you create an actor who is very unlikable, who is playing a character who is completely over the top, and they are meant to stand in as you. I mean, that is starting off in a really good dynamic. With this, it's there's no tension here because it's just like, hey, we're a bunch of actors. Hey, we're doing a thing. And it's just, like, for story, there's not a whole lot building here except that you're just getting detail and looking at the reaction. So it's like, yeah.
Well, there's no tension here because it's, oh, hey, it's the Orville. There's no, how clever.
It's like, I am Captain Zapper Jax, hero of the Icon War.
Everything happens to me for some reason.
I was promoted to Admiral in a single battle.
I killed 20,000 Klingons, but nobody batted an eyelash. I got an
Peggy
accolade
Johnston.
for it, in fact.
There we go.
this.
I'm Peggy Johnston. We're never going to get through this one. I play the ship's doctor. You might remember me from another show called Deep Space Station.
I love that show.
Sorry.
You were great.
I'm trying to escape. I want to run away. Save me, Hollow Quark. Save me.
Hey, you're the one who recommended this mission.
I mean, it's one of those things where it's new author putting something out there, and it does help to sort of go through stuff like this because a new author doesn't necessarily know where the boundaries are. They should be reading the EULA, and I think they're separate enough that it's just gray. It's not like
No,
back out.
I don't think there's a specific EULA violation here, but
Yeah, it's just for a comedy mission. I mean, we do have sort of
it's-
two different takes on it
It's
between this and Bob.
skirting the thing here.
Yeah, the use of the name LeVar, I think, might be the closest thing to a straightforward EULA violation because we can't use names of people who exist.
yeah.
I mean, in a way that isn't is directly associated with them. So I think it's great when it gets to ship names honoring someone. I think that I don't know, is maybe more of a historical reference, but we can't use names of the names.
Honestly,
of
I just would
actors.
have liked to have seen a little more creativity.
Yeah, because there's such a rich ground because you could basically just take the pants off of Stowe. I mean, with a setup like this, I mean, you have so much ingrained experience from from the player about what they've been doing, and the conceits that we've had to work under in order to get that to work as a game. Referencing the Orville kind of works for that audience, but you are making a mission for STO. And it really wasn't apparent going into this that we'd just be going through the Orville. You can kind of appreciate the connections, but you're not getting the full experience if you're not coming from a very certain cultural perspective.
Well, there's referencing, and then there's this.
Yeah. So, anyway, moving on. We'd like you and your crew to conduct a survey of the Trimble system long-range scan. Show Trimble 2 as a Class M, but uninhabited. Should be perfectly safe for your guests. Continue.
That sounds familiar. Didn't we do an episode on Trimble? Something about an alien weapon?
Oh god, we don't. I'm totally lost in the names here, so we're just gonna go. Not exactly. We did an episode about Trimble, but we were on the soundstage. We didn't shoot on location. They're Zongus or Zygons or something like that. There was an incident, an ancient alien artifact in a crashed ship.
Yeah, but it was supposed to be too powerful for anyone to use, so they had us bury it again.
It wasn't a bad episode. No, you're going to explore the actual Trimble system. I doubt you're going to find any alien civilizations, but it should be interesting from a scientific standpoint.
Sounds like an uneventful assignment.
Ready to beam you and your guests up. We'll set course as soon as you're on board. Go to next map. Oh, Oh, there we go.
Going back to sector space. I didn't think anybody still tried to do that.
That's interesting.
I toy with the idea every once and again. I haven't had a specific need.
Yeah, I don't think this is a bad application of it.
No, not particularly.
You just gotta know
Like I said,
not to
you know,
go back in.
All this, everything we've seen so far, I think would have been great had he invented his own show rather than use the Orville.
Yeah. Because that also does place it in a very particular context, too, with the fan community. I mean, of people who have taken the Orville too far and what it means in the broader realm of sci-fi. So, where's Trimble? I know it's where we have one of our, one of the intro fed missions.
I just use the system list if I can't remember.
And I
I'm
should
not
just
giving in yet. I'm giving in.
So Hornet
it's
is
near
asking,
Klingon space.
Hornet is asking, if you made a what is essentially a TV show or a holo show, how would it be popular? Well, because all the science fiction things are real.
Yeah, I mean, it would be the same as
we
like
make
a military
TV shows
theme,
about
so
yeah, we
show.
make TV shows about
Today.
the real current world all the time. So
Yeah, you can always do like
the last ship or something like that.
yeah, you can also just do extrapolations of sci-fi in Star Trek. I mean, you're basically just doing. I mean, the way you would basically do like sci-fi in the Star Trek universe would just be you do sci-fi set in a future year with and necessary extrapolations on the technology. So that would basically amount
to the something or other.
Borg or yeah, something like that. So you can just basically just make a mission that would just be set later on, and then just have it as the characters are being set in a previous era, and are appreciating the future sci-fi aspect from a previous location. So it's basically you just make a future mission, but then set the characters back in 2410, and they just treat it as sci-fi. So I think that would be a relatively straightforward way of actually doing a sci-fi production in a holodeck in Star Trek. Or you can also do sci-fi that doesn't involve the Federation too, just completely fictitious events. So it's kind of like one of those things where we do
remember. Sorry, go ahead and finish.
I would just say we do it all the time anyway. Whenever we just go to a different setting, it's just you set that up in a different context. So you basically just write sci-fi. You just have the characters be aware of its sci-fi-ness.
I remember there was something that Bashir and Garrick were exchanging books, and he says, "I think you'll like this one. It's set in a future where the Klingon Empire has something or other." So I mean, it's you can set things in sort of your real world and then start fictionalizing parts of it.
Yeah, because again, that basically
because that's what we do all the time in our real world here.
Yeah. So
Anyway.
we're all there.
We're all here. Okay.
Put us into a standard orbit. Do.
You know, you could go the wormhole extreme route of, someone comes to you and says, we want to make a holo program about you, only it's so ridiculously embellished. And it just becomes a huge farce. And you're just facepalming through all of it.
Just because they're aliens and their skulls are transparent doesn't mean they don't have rights.
Hey, we're all together. Guys, well, it's a first bout. Standard orbit established.
Fleet Admiral, ready the planetary survey.
Let's start deploying mapping satellites.
I've marked suitable locations for satellites on the map. Deploy them.
Okie dokie.
You're not on camera yet, Ensign. Stop being so dramatic.
But this is my chance, sir.
Should have never let you have that drama class.
I will say, though, I mean, it's effective use of map transitions. It's effective use of dialogue.
I guess I'll go for the
it's
one
sort
on
of
the far
being-
side of the planet.
It's hitting par, I would say, for any first-time mission. So I think the construction is perfectly fine. It's just we're having problems with the fact that it is Orville, or at least so far.
Bloodleaf, it hasn't gone the route that a lot of fans have gotten, which is, whenever the Orville comes up, it's used to basically bash Discovery. This mission has not done that yet.
So
may.
I'm still being very tense about that. But one quick thing, I did activate the first satellite, and there's a neat set of transitions there. So again, props for the technical execution here, because that's
we got somebody
very good so far.
who knows how triggers
Ooh.
go.
Okay, yeah, and they're doing triggers to actually set up the satellite. I do like that. We're all racing. Yeah.
We're receiving telemetry from the satellites now. Oxygen, nitrogen in atmosphere with breathable limits. Temperature looks good. Gravity 0.9 of Earth. I'm reading significant deposits of unobtainium.
As well as traces of handwavium and alludium.
So wait,
Chuckle.
I don't know what reality we're in now. Where are we? What universe is this? I kind of like it. I'd say this merits a closer look. I think Q is just having us on now. I concur. It is unusual to find those elements occurring together on the same planet. I suggest we beam down some survey teams. Down for a closer, more thorough evaluation. Take us to transporter range.
Got an extra down in that sentence.
Yeah. I should not criticize on that one because I do that all the time. We're in target range, sir. Standing by to beam me down. We'll start by beaming the other survey towns once we drop you off. Okie dokie.
But yeah, technically there's no down in space, so.
Yeah.
whatever. I don't have any interesting bridge officers on this trip.
I've still got a couple.
All right, next time I'll give you my bridge officer, or let Drog
Oh.
give you my bridge officer.
Orient is correct that the term unobtainium is actually a real term.
Handwavium is not.
No, he definitely, he took that and went with it, to the logical extreme.
Yeah, and I like
Which was a
the
little
joke.
funny.
I like the joke. It's just that it's sort of like
It's out of
breaking
context
a wall.
of
Yeah, because it's like we're in a
In fact,
serious setting.
This mission was supposed to be the serious part of it.
Yeah, it's supposed to be sort of we're in a grounded setting, but we've got a ridiculous premise, and the actors are the one who's are kind of all over the place. But now we're in a sort of this kind of weird group. Also, magnificent props for the author here, first timer, who changed the default lighting. Changed the default lighting. That's our automatically +1 star for Duncan.
Stand by to beam our guests to your location, sir.
Oh, clear. Energize. And, yeah, interesting use of crystal assets, as in putting them around.
And we are alone.
Yep. Here we go. There's our dudes. Monsters! Oh yeah, I can request reinforcements. I mean, it's a open map. I mean, you've got a mix of combat objectives here, so yeah, that's pretty good. There's a little bit more integration between things, but yeah, it works. Yeah, an ops thing. Yeah, I skipped over dialogue. Dang it.
Hang on, let me see if I can get it.
Sir, we've lost contact with satellite Beta. That shouldn't be possible. These satellites have multiple backup systems. There would have to be a cascade failure across all redundant systems for it to go offline like that.
Go find out what happened.
Adjusting orbit to rendezvous with the satellite's last known position. We'll contact you when we know more.
Keep me posted. I'll wait team out.
Because that's all serious stuff. Go. Very solid, serious stuff.
Definitely unobtainium. A pretty sizable vein. Not pure enough to be of commercial use, but it is of scientific interest.
Just realized I think these crystals are actually making noise.
That wouldn't surprise me.
I believe some of them do, yes.
I usually don't have headphones on when I'm working like this.
I don't
One of
actually
those
have sound
people
on.
that I could pipe my sound through to you if you wanted.
Horian brings up a good point, which is, you know, the idea that this is kind of like a ride along should be played up here. You know, these people should be like asking questions of us.
Yeah, like it really contributes
as we're going along and doing these objectives.
Because we did spend the time on that first map to really flesh out the characters.
Yeah.
So if that's not going to be used throughout the mission, you can basically just cut all that out when you're going through their backstory, because it becomes unnecessary. Like, because it doesn't help the mission if characters that we give long introductions to then don't have any role, at least in this sort of moment-to-moment dialogue, because it's all just been our own bridge officers. So,
well, I mean,
this
it's
impact
still...
Like, he could have shortened it up to like a multi-sided conversation. So instead of just going 5 dialogues, you just go with 1 and just include each crew member in at least 1 prompt.
Sir, we need you back on board. We've got a situation up here. Beam us directly to the bridge. That was less than I was expecting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there wasn't anything to do with the crew there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we left him on the planet.
That'd be a good
We can only hope.
It's just like we get back to the Trimble system. Like, actually, here's a good one. We go back to the Celeste system as Trip, and then realize we forgot them.
Yeah,
And
so
then you
we're-
immediately, and then you go back, but you handle that as a single warp transition.
Somebody's gonna say it, not my bridge.
Could be my bridge.
Is it do you fly an Odyssey? That's the only,
I could have.
that's the only ship that this bridge belongs to.
I know. I could say it's been specially retrofitted in my Constitution class. It might fit. Have to take out a few decks, though.
Sir, a ship of unknown configuration has entered the orbit and it destroyed satellite Beta. They have so far not made any aggressive moves, just a holding position. Except for destroying the satellite, which was an aggressive move.
I may have just broken the mission because I walked forward and I hit a trigger, so this is probably pop-up dialogue that occurs after the dialogue.
So we're supposed to hail the alien vessel.
Okay.
Well, the cast is still here, so we didn't forget them.
Okay.
There's
He's in the
communica-
chair.
The
Why
comm
is...
officer's up here.
He's in my chair. Your orders, sir.
Open a channel to the...
alien vessel.
Hailing frequencies open, Fleet Admiral.
I represent the United Federation of Planets. We're on a mission of peaceful exploration.
I am Alfred Yankovic. We claim this planet in the name of the Crawl. Leave now or be destroyed, and I'm pretty sure you can't use Crawl.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure the Crawl is actually the name of the species in that. I'm going to look it up real quick.
Yeah.
We still
have people on the surface. Allow us to retrieve them, and we will leave in peace.
It's the krill. Not the Crawl, it's the krill in the Orville.
Still, pretty thinly veiled.
We will have the glaive. Your people will not stop us. Out of the way, Lucky. Let me speak to Captain Spencer.
Captain Spencer?
Uh-oh.
Yes, of course, Captain Spencer. Are you blind? He's right behind you.
Mute comms.
Mute comms.
Channel closer.
Talk to Captain Spencer.
We've thrown in a little galaxy quest here.
Yeah, I like that bit. You're sitting in my seat. Yes, yes, yes. Give us a line.
He's ad-libbing again.
I can see that.
Sorry, force of habit.
What is going on here?
I have no idea. I had run-ins with rabid fans, but this is news to me.
How are you at improvisation?
In acting school, I was considered quite gifted. In fact...
Okay, follow my lead.
Talk to the communications officer.
The channels are open, sir.
Okay, let's try this again.
I will only talk to Captain Spencer.
I'm in charge here.
This is Morgan's ship. I'm just here as an observer.
Captain Spencer and his officers are assisting with this mission.
Why should I talk to you? You're not Starfleet.
Of course I am Starfleet. I'm in command of this ship.
If you're Starfleet, where are you? Why aren't you wearing a uniform?
This is a Starfleet uniform.
That's not a Starfleet uniform. Captain Spencer is wearing a Starfleet uniform.
Starfleet uniform code allows captains to dress their crews in whatever uniforms they choose.
But then it's not a uniform.
Not all Starfleet captains have as my impeccable fashion sense.
I wouldn't go that far.
What kind of military are you running? Where your people can wear whatever they want.
Starfleet is not a military organization.
You have wasted enough of my time. You will not keep us from retrieving the glaive.
But there's no...
They close the channel.
My ready room now.
I do like this twist in the mission.
Yeah, it's very Galaxy Quest-esque.
But it has...
Like I said, it would all be working for me if there wasn't this, they just blatantly brought in everything from the Orville.
Yeah.
If he created his own fictional thing, I think this will all be working for me.
It's not my fault!
We've never met these people before. How do they know about Space Trek?
We sold the show to them!
There's got to be more to it than that.
Well, we didn't tell them it was a Holovid show.
But did you tell them?
We told them they were classified mission logs. They were willing to pay a lot more latinum for them.
Oh, great.
Room is shaking. They fired some sort of graviton beam at us. Stress on the hull is increasing.
That can't be good.
Sir, please come down to engineering. I may have a way to get us out of this dilemma.
On my way.
Uh-oh. There we go.
Oh,
Yeah,
right, the
great,
door's
the
jammed.
Hang on, I've got this. Actually, wrong voice.
I think we were both going to do it the same
What are you
way.
doing?
There you go. That's impressive. I would. Okay, so that's basically repeating a bit that I've seen in the commercials. But the way I would have done that as a comedy mission is that she tries to do it with the expectation that, oh, she's going to do the thing from the Orville, and then she basically just bounces off the door.
Because she didn't realize that all of her, feats of strength on the show were done with special effects.
Yeah, or basically it's that you're doing that, like it's a Starfleet door on a bridge, and it's probably designed to withstand explosive decompression, so, hitting it's
Where are we actually going? Oh, this other door?
Yeah.
Yes.
We're going to
Okay.
engineering.
Turbo lift.
I will probably won't see you on the other side.
Probably not. Oh no, Twitch for Theta is left. I think. Oh. Also, just to let you guys know, Twitch for Theta is looking for feedback on his next idea for a community event. So check out his forum post on that, leave your 2 cents, and make sure you vote in the poll because, yeah, standard Star Trek Online forums haven't really been too active on the Star Trek Foundry side. So especially senior authors, make sure you're occasionally checking by there, offering new authors advice and looking for new missions to play.
Yeah, he means me.
I didn't just mean you.
Zero, my one and only loyal bridge officer.
Oh, I'm still loading in. Yeah, there we go. Thrust reinforcements. Full team! I didn't make sure they kind of got a Power Ranger thing going on.
Alright,
Okay,
talking
first-
to Jay-Z.
You need to reverse the neutron flow to Omega 13, as we did in episode 37.
Excuse me?
That doesn't make any sense.
Am I interrupting something?
Talk to the person. Late Admiral, this actor has been trying to explain me some technobabble rubbish. This suggestion is completely useless, but it's giving me an idea.
I'm
That's
listening.
not completely useless, is it?
We can't
listening.
drop our shields to beam up the survey teams while the gravitational beam is on us. Why didn't we beam them up before? Or we'll be crushed. But we can create a static warp bubble, which we can use. There's a static warp bubble we can use. We can artificially increase the effective mass of the ship. It might be enough to overload their systems.
Make it so.
Make it so.
Why don't we do this every time we've been tractor beamed?
Because we only just thought of it now.
Cause plot. And there's a blinking dot
Damn
on
you,
this
plot.
console.
There it is.
Sir, this is Shuttle Bay 1. We have an unauthorized shuttle launch.
What? How did that happen?
Captain Spencer said he needed a shuttle for an important mission.
You do realize he's an actor, don't you?
Yes, of course, sir. Your orders?
Close the bay doors.
It's too late. The shuttle
It's
has
too late.
already cleared the threshold.
I didn't say we're trying to keep him from going out. We're just keeping him from coming back in.
Hail the shuttle.
You
heard
heard
Alpha.
Hartford. He's going to deal with anyone but me. Or he's not going to deal with anyone but me. I'm going over there to see if he can be if I can't persuade him to be reasonable.
That's a terrible idea.
Sir, sorry to cut in, but you're needed back on the bridge. The good news is we've disengaged the graviton beam to receive our shuttle. The bad news is they're charging weapons.
On my way.
You know, as transporter systems are a completely independent system, they should be beaming up people right now while we're running to the bridge.
Yep.
Not like we actually
We're
have
not
to
really
beam.
running to a bridge. We're running to a space map.
I'm seeing the user list in chat, and I see Johnny Snowball.
Hey! Hey, Johnny.
You cannot hide from us.
I heard he one-upped our tardigrade.
He massively one-upped our tardigrade. That was a I liked our tardigrade, but he did get all the details.
In fairness, he had more time to do it. I had to do it like on a 20 minutes on a show.
Oh yeah. He's also Johnny Snowball.
He is
Yeah.
also Johnny Snowball.
Hey.
And also, Johnny doesn't care about asset limits.
I don't think this creation looked too over the top. I mean, for Johnny Snowball.
Yeah, I mean, it did it was pretty good tardigrade.
Unfortunately, I'm surprised that we're not all on the same map.
Nope, you get to be the one who's stuck by himself.
Or you guys are both together,
Yep.
and I'm not.
Somehow we're both. I don't know how that worked.
Okay.
It feels very random.
The shields are down and the engines are offline. I'm reading significant structural damage. My console exploded again.
Bring us into transporter range.
Yep. Add a location objective, and then back into the location objective, because you don't spawn location objectives on top of players. There we go. I think that was the end of the mission. Because the objective hit.
I just got... there we go. Boarding
Okay.
party extending
Transporter
by.
range.
Ready to beam over.
Oh, wait.
Energize.
I must find what's his face? There we go. I have found a use for the Ennis hat. One of the many things that would be very useful to have in the Foundry, just because it's a hat. I mean, you can do someone who's a crazy junk dealer, someone who's just simply crazy and has put a bunch of stuff on their head, or a crazy military commander, or a rebel soldier from Return of the Jedi.
Or you could have the Planet of Hats.
Planet of Hats.
I need to work that into Founder mission, the Planet of Hats.
I need to work that into a Foundry mission.
It could just be like something where, like, maybe it's there was a mental colony on it, and all the inmates escaped, and this is their descendants.
Just Lord of the Flies, and instead of a conch, you have various types of hats to denote different positions within the government. They just keep passing the hats.
Until you take the hat off one person and put it on another, and they freak out.
Yeah. Or basically, it's just like you don't exist if you don't have a hat on.
What was that from?
You're thinking about.
Oh,
you're thinking about
Babylon 5. Yeah, the ones with
the
the
Drazi?
two sides. Yes.
Who takes green is green leader.
Anyway, there's a lot of interference from all the radiation leakage, but I'm picking up life signs on this deck, both human and other humanoids. Tricorder range is limited.
We gotta go find Captain Idiot.
Oh no, my hat guy isn't here. Oh, Drogon took my hat guy slot.
We needed a medic.
We needed a guy with a hat.
Well, this
Okay.
place looks familiar.
There we go.
Remember, these can't hurt you at the Foundry.
Where are we going? I guess towards the end.
We were just trying to find him.
I don't know. I see
I only
enemies on the
read-
mini-map.
Well, take a right,
So that's where I'm going.
right and a right, because I looked at the map and found the NPC. Bringing Ross to lay down the law. Here you go.
in there.
It's no use, sir. It's locked securely. We'll have to breach the door with a demolition charge.
Blowing things up is my specialty. Good trigger work.
Recommend retreat to a safe distance.
Good idea. Or someone could just blow it up.
That looks like the force field controls over there, to the right of the holding cell.
Enter access code. We have the option to destroy the console?
Try
Here we
1, 2,
go.
3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's the kind of access code an idiot would have on their luggage.
Yes.
See, if you do jokes like that, where it's just thrown in there as a one-off reference, that's funny.
Alright, talking. Get me out of here!
One to beam up.
Late Admiral, I believe I saw a turbo lift at the end of the corridor. We should try to end this peacefully.
Let's go.
Ross is here, so that's no longer an option.
See, referential humor can be funny, but it's got to be subtle and come out of nowhere.
Turbo lift.
Like way back in Purity, when you finally rescue the president, what your character says is, "Come with me if you want to live."
Yeah. You got to set it up, give something a payoff. You sort of work with how tension builds and how the characters are developing the missions, because it's sort of like, I think what a lot of people try to do when like writing a straight comedy mission is that they sort of start subverting expectations. So they start subverting things that make a mission work. So things become very nonsensical, very abstract, and that does take it can result in some laughs, but it does take away from the impression of the mission too, which should be something you're still trying to maintain over the course of it. I think this is doing a pretty good job, but
yeah, there's funny things going on here, like the captain or the actor who thinks they're really the captain and get to really help the situation, and isn't. And,
yeah.
And the guy who was spouting technobabble from the show, but that's not really anything that actually makes any sense.
No. So yeah, and I think the one thing is just like the long character introductions just did take away from the start of the mission, because it is sort of a big stop, and only one person is one or two people have really come in besides the captain. So it's really not necessary to give them longer histories, like beyond one single prompt, if that relates directly to who they are. You can establish personalities, and their role in the show is kind of just something that's just sort of there, and you don't need to sort of draw attention to it. You just sort of play with it and let players draw their own conclusions from the interactions.
Oh, these enemies are a little stronger.
Did you call down reinforcements?
I did. Dragoon seems to have failed to do that.
Fine, if you wanted to fight fairly. And
You are under-leveled.
I was killing some of them, Mish.
Are you vaporizing them? Do. I think this is also another mission that would work well with optional dialogue banter, because that would have allowed more interactions on the planet.
Oh yeah, there definitely need to be more there.
Yeah, because, I mean, he may have intended, he doesn't really want to spend a lot of time there, but players kind of do. So whenever you're in that situation, you give players optional dialogue, because then it's like, well, if they want to move on, they move on. If they want to hang around with the characters, they can do that. It's a way of calibrating the mission without having to make really hard creative choices. that might stand out from people who really want to have a slower pacing or faster pacing through a given moment or a given section. So I'm all set.
I'm all
Me
set.
too.
I forgot the voice. Stop shooting!
We need to
Stop
talk.
shooting! Oh, that's more the Ferengi.
Haven't you caused enough harm?
This is all a misunderstanding.
I'm listening.
There's no artifact here. What you saw was just a Holovid show. None of it was real.
I refuse to believe that. Yes, Ferengi showed me these logs were genuine.
Team Glick down here. He needs to deal with this personally.
Deathmatch.
Please don't kill me!
They're not
They're
gonna
not gonna
harm
you. I think.
I was only following standard Ferengi business practices. Rule of acquisition number 239.
Never be afraid to mislabel a product.
Exactly. It's not my fault these people took things too literally.
I think they would beg to differ.
What do you expect me to do?
And start by refunding their latinum.
And violate the most sacred rule? Once you have their money, never give it back. The Ferengi Commerce Authority would revoke my business license. I'd be ruined.
Remember Rule 125, you can't make a deal if you're dead.
You make an excellent point. I'm sure we can make arrangements with my superiors for appropriate compensation for the inconvenience.
Can't you read? Talk to other person.
Glick must stand trial for his crimes against the Crow people.
Ooh.
So we can turn him over, or I can't just turn him over to you without a guarantee of his safety.
I'd go with that one.
We are Starfleet after all. We're in Connie's.
I can assure you, he won't be executed without a fair trial first.
That's not exactly what I meant.
I'm a Federation citizen. I've got rights. You can't do this to me. You can't leave me with these people.
I'll have to go through diplomatic channels. I'm sure it'll all work out eventually.
I have a lock on your signal and ready for transport.
Energize. Oh no, we're gonna have a denouement with the Orville. Another interesting thing would have been to actually bring in their filming ship as we're going to go into battle, and it's basically something that a ship that's made out of the Star Trek equivalent of paper mache.
Oh, it's like a modified transport or something like that.
Or yeah. And then they keep trying to, will you move? You're in our shot. I'm trying to destroy this ship here.
Don't you have no sense of color balance?
Your phasers are ruining the lighting.
So, yeah, I'd say, especially for a new mission, it's a good technical effort. The dialogue is good, use of character is good, trigger use is good. I think it's the Orville. I think that's really it, and then the extended introductions at the start.
If he just came up with his own fictional show, then you're home free.
Talk to transporter operator.
Welcome aboard, sir. Good to have you back. I take it everything went well?
Federation. Go ahead.
Federation Diplomatic Corps is going to have their hands full cleaning this up.
And what about Glick, sir?
He's safe for now. I hope we can count on the call not to do anything rash. We have no information on them or their cultural practices.
Typical day at work, eh?
You call almost starting an interstellar incident over nothing typical. Well, it is.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'll leave the heroics to the professionals next time.
You could have been killed. I would just say, okay. As a captain, okay, I'm washing my hands of this. I'm just going to walk to my quarters.
Or punch him in the face.
I should have known better than to do my own stunts. I hope there are no hard feelings about the shuttle I borrowed.
Well, you did get them to drop the graviton beam. I'm sure to mention that in my report.
I'll
Only
list
get,
all
you
the
know,
other things you did, but
Yep.
Answer a call from the bridge.
I'll let one of you get this.
So the last of the survey teams has beamed up. We're ready to leave orbit. Give the word.
On my way.
Map
And
transition.
that's the end of the mission.
Okie dokie. Dang it. Yeah, let's see. Because I didn't because we had the team splitting, I didn't get the prompt, so unfortunately can't
Yeah.
give a tip on this one, but
Did you get the prompt, Rogan?
I did.
Okay.
yeah, so it's
So
basically
it
when
is
the
the end
team
of the
split.
mission, okay.
Yeah,
I know
it
we
is
had
the
that
end of the
other
mission,
one
so I just dropped it to leave the rating here.
It's not too bad. About an hour and 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm. So everyone in the stream, hang tight while we type.
I'll do this
Well,
after
we
the
all
stream.
type the same thing. Well, Frank, maybe not.
Do it after the stream.
It reminds me of at one point somebody made a mission that was the Hunt for Red October, but in space in Star Trek. And I mean, not inspired by, literally, the Hunt for Red October in space.
Yeah.
And
You can't
that
do
was going a bit too far. and I think this had aspects of that.
Yeah, I mean,
Going a bit too far with references
yeah,
to
I mean,
other shows that are not Star Trek.
yeah, I mean, kind of like how Galaxy Quest is an homage to Star Trek, but it doesn't directly try to copy Star Trek. It keeps itself just different enough to be original.
Mm-hmm. And I think you could do that here. It's easily, you just take the characters that you have and put your own little spin on them. The captain who, thinks they can solve everything, or the actor captain who thinks they can solve everything, and the engineer and all that kind of stuff. And you put your own twist on these things and make it your own. And I think that would make the mission work 100% for me.
So as far as I can,
and adding a little bit more, interaction with them along the way as well.
yeah, it's because I mean, I can think of we had a couple moments with the captain, we had that one moment with the engineer, and we had that one moment with the security strong girl. But other than that, I mean, I don't remember any of the other characters doing anything.
We didn't really do anything with the
No.
doctor or the first officer.
Yeah, so those two were basically just there to fill out the references. And they were sort of around, but I mean, that's where optional dialogue would have been really good for fleshing out that crew, because that was where the focus was, is the crew, and they really took a back seat to developments. Only a few characters went on to actually have a role in the mission.
I mean, you could
So
have some
that's-
fun where maybe the actor who plays the doctor is squeamish at the sight of blood.
Or tries to help someone and makes it worse. When that was something really like life-threatening, just something, to make it funny.
Yeah. Maybe you bring her along and you're shooting people, and it's like, oh, is that blood? I can't stand the sight of blood.
Or have the engineer touch a button that makes something really bad start to happen. It's like, but that button does something else on our show.
I mean, I think this mission has some good ideas to it,
It's got a lot of potential.
and I don't think that it needs a whole lot of like rewriting or anything. I just think the Orville references are a little too on the nose, and I don't know, maybe a little bit typing. It seems like we didn't spend a lot of time in any one place. We kind of jumped around a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of short map transitions,
So-
but and that's something that happens to a lot of authors.
Yeah,
early in
that's
their-
something that's more of a you get better at it as you go.
Yeah.
I need one letter.
I drop periods.
Well, I've already started doing that.
I drop.
You really need that comma?
Yes.
Apostrophe? Apostrophes can be gotten rid of.
implied eyes.
There you go.
People know the word don't, even if it doesn't have the apostrophe in it.
Come on.
So
we're
yeah,
on
that
Twitter.
was Galaxy
We're
Trek by Bberga or Bberg. So
Bberg,
another, yeah.
something like
So again, great effort for a relatively new author. But
the technical side was very good.
yeah, and I like some of the comedic elements. I think he was sort of a little bit more push those in a little bit better direction than Bob from County, because that was a very straight mission that just had the juxtaposition. This had the juxtaposition and then did some very silly things like the captain responses and the shuttle event and the technobabble. And they kind of both did that. I think it was just the hand wavium was out of place because it was sort of in the wrong place, because it was in the serious side, not the comedy side, because there was that duality between our crew and their crew. So their crew talking about hand wavium would have been perfectly fine. Our crew talking about it kind of breaks things down a little bit in that scene, but otherwise, it's just one of those. It's a challenging mission. Let's just put it that way. It's one of those things where it's a very challenging idea for how to really go best about it in the Foundry, and for a full mission, I don't think you can really get away with it without like causing issues. So as far as the independent story goes, as far as like, is your reference really the best place to do this type of reference versus like parodying Stowe, because you're dealing with Stowe players and you can assume that people have seen the Orville, but none of us have. So I mean that, like, and we're not particularly fans of it, so it's all of a sudden we're now at a very significant distance versus if you parody Stowe versus drawing in a very specific cultural reference point for the exact same idea in the exact same mission in the exact same sequence of events, the exact same types of characters we deal with. I mean, it's sort of like there is a point where it's like, okay, you can't really evaluate creative decisions as being sort of right or wrong, but they're definitely stronger alternatives to every single idea. And it's really pays to think through all your possibilities as much as you can, because sometimes you might find that there is a much more simple or powerful way of getting to a certain idea versus what you originally intended. Hey, it's Garthon.
Showed up at the end.
Garthon.
He missed our voices.
Uh,
Catch the live play or replay.
Yep.
You
should
did.
be up on Tuesday.
Okay. Or just like when we finish the stream, you can just go to
That's
yeah,
true.
just
And also,
Yeah,
also
you can watch it.
auto
go to
records
videos and
Twitch.
Yeah.
Yep.
But and Zero's live streaming too, so that's a fun night.
Yep.
So anyway, though, we can probably call it there. You should also probably say for next week we won't be doing a show on Saturday. Greendragoon is going to an undisclosed location that we are not allowed to talk about on orders of Starfleet security. But we may
Even
be
I
doing
don't
a
know
show. Ross is like that. But anyway, though. Oh, Garthon only catches the audio. I apologize for this mission then. Anyway, though, we'll be doing a show earlier in the week to catch up on any news that we may have following next weekend. We'll see. So, yep, stay tuned,
yeah.
and
Check us out on
we'll
Tuesday.
have announcements on that on Twitter.
All right. Well, for this episode, thank you all for joining us, and we will say goodnight.
Good night.
Good night.